Now, this time yesterday, we brought you the news that the acclaimed Bangladeshi photographer Shahidul Alam has been freed on bail by the authorities in Dhaka after spending more than 100 days in jail. His supporters and family are now calling for all charges against him to be dropped. Mr. Alam was arrested in August after criticising the official response to mass student protests, calling for better road safety. His detention sparked an outcry from human rights organisations and Nobel laureates. He was held under controversial internet laws, which critics say Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has used to stifle dissent and to harass journalists. Well, Rabab Ahmed is Shahidul Alam's niece, and she joins me from Johannesburg now. Welcome back to the programme. We spoke some months ago when you had learnt of your uncle's detention. You must be overjoyed with his release. Tell me how you're feeling and how he is doing, because I know you've spoken to him.
Absolutely. Yes, overjoyed is correct. I think when we first found out, we were all delirious with happiness. We are extremely relieved, but like you mentioned, we are, seriously hoping and, we're trusting that the government won't press charges because these are baseless allegations. And we are so thankful for all the support from all over the world, not, young, old, not just from Bangladesh, from India, from literally all over the world, writers, activists, artists, explorers. So we're so thankful for everybody's support and, to help continue fight for this and make sure that, glad to see that the orders are respected and this kind of, this doesn't happen again. And this morning I spoke to him and he sounded great. He sounded like himself, which was really nice. It was wonderful to hear. And he was at the hospital at the moment and waiting for checkups. And he said he was complying with doctor's orders and he sounded like in good spirits. It was wonderful.
When you and I last spoke, you were particularly concerned about his treatment. I'm wondering if you have any more of a picture of how he coped inside and if he was maltreated.
He was. I mean, he had problems eating his gums. I mean, until I believe last week when he was eating food, he was still mixing the bread into, we call dal, the lentils, so that it becomes softer because he had gum pain, he had vertigo. So those things definitely happened. But as for how it is or what the treatment is or what the doctor's assessment is, that I do not know.
The legal team around your uncle, yourself, many supporters have been calling for the charges to be dropped. You mentioned that a little earlier. Just explain to us why that is so important to you.
Well, first of all, these are completely, it's a baseless. This is ludicrous, really, that this happened in the first place. He hasn't done anything wrong. So he was doing what a journalist does. So that alone is the most important reason why this needs to be dropped. And the court, clearly he has been released on bail because the court has found that the evidence, so-called evidence, doesn't hold water. So for all of these myriad of reasons, we believe that, it needs to be dropped. And he's not the only person who has been imprisoned based off of this alleged defamation. And there are others who are still imprisoned, and that's him being released is going to hopefully start those people, those other detainees also becoming released. That's the hope.
Do you have any idea, Rab, if he's going to continue his work and being an outspoken critic of the government there in Bangladesh?
Oh, I'm sure he will, because, for him, the truth, speaking the truth, standing up for justice, for democracy is the most important thing. And I mean, even while he was in prison, he built relationships and made connections with other detainees, other people who were in there. And I mean, just listening to the little snippets of how he interacted with them, and it just makes you realize that what his life's work is about, fighting for these people, anybody who has been unjustly treated. So he definitely, there's no doubt about that. He said himself when he was in prison that when he comes out, he's going to work for prison reform. Yesterday, I think it's been all over social media, the statement he sent out that, together we're going to fight for democracy. So clearly he's going to continue.
Rab, we appreciate you joining us just 24 hours after your uncle's release and sharing your thoughts with us. Many thanks. Rab Ahmed there.
Thank you so much.